I'm not a financial advisor nor a CPA, and the content I create is for entertainment and educational purposes only. I trade in my account, and everything I do is hypothetical in nature because it doesn't happen in your account. My experience with trading is not typical, nor does it guarantee that similar results will be obtained by you. I am merely sharing my opinion with no guarantee of gains or losses in investments. Remember, day trading can be extremely risky. You should be prepared to lose all the funds that you use for day trading. In particular, you should not fund day trading activities with retirement savings, student loans, second mortgages, emergency funds, funds set aside for purposes such as education or home ownership, or funds required to meet your living expenses. Further, certain evidence indicates that investments less than $50,000 will significantly impair the ability of a day trader to make a profit. Of course, an investment of $50,000 or more will no way guarantee a success. With that out of the way, let's get into the content.
Good morning there, neighbor. Good morning. Hi. There we go. Still pretty low. Okay. Now I can hear. I think I'm tripping. Yeah, but good morning, everybody. I see there's not a lot going on, but we do see some things that have rain. They're still not pretty, like BAER. I see this one is up about 70%. From 8 all the way to 8, actually it's up 100%. And it has 5 million volume, which is a decent amount, so that could run. But when I looked at FinViz, nothing popped up. So I'm going to have to do something about that. This may be my time to use Dilution Tracker. But while I'm doing that, I can slightly go over what I think might happen today. I forgot which one is Dilution Tracker. Oh, it's right there. Yeah, but how you guys doing? Anybody got any plays yet? Okay, Dilution Tracker says it's 2 million float and market cap is 193. Okay, so it's still in the small caps, but it's a micro float. FinViz didn't say anything about it yet. Yahoo, want to see what they're saying, because there's going to be some gap between the fundamental stats. I want to know what all the other people are seeing. Okay, they're seeing nothing. That's about right. Nothing. But if this is 2 million on the float, it's pretty much in the same area as LUNR and OCEA. So the recent few days, we've been seeing a lot of tickers with like illiquid floats just going crazy. And that may have been the trend of last week. Let me turn on the music. Okay. Yeah, so that may have been the trend of last week, is taking a liquid stock and just running it up. Because a lot of people were talking about like we're in the bull market, things like that. But when that was very much not the case, and then they started saying we're going to do 50 points basic hike, 75 points basic hike because everybody's fighting the Fed. That's the very rough part of it, a rough story. At the end of the day, OCEA, I think it has its opening bell ceremony today. When this one ran all the way up to 26, a lot of people didn't see that coming. I don't think this has anything to do with the 3 warrants, the unregistered warrants that happened. But it did pop a top around 13. Like the full breakout happened at 13. And so maximum, I thought this was going to fade back to 13. So when we were at like 15 sitting there for a while, I had full borrows. No, I had half borrows, like just equity for LUNR and OCEA. When this one did that massive gap down, I wasn't trying to chase anything until this one went back up to 20 and LUNR went back to like 80. The bounces that I was looking for, they never came. They both just bled the entire day. There's a lot of FOMO, but at the same time, this is one of those, if you did go in, you would have went in with like a lottery size, like a very small size that you just would have held the rest of the day just to get your borrow fees back. And if you did have that discipline rule, you probably would have had a normal size win. And so like, that is a good habit to have. But when you're under PDT, it's almost like hell because you're so defensive of the PDT number, like, because you only get 3. But at the end of the day, I didn't trade these two. I just marked them up as a miss. And when it comes to like the sympathy plays from like OCEA, at least at the time, I found LION, like Lionheart. And this one, it went all the way up to 14 from $7. And it was at the same timing as OCEA. Now remember, both these stocks, OCEA had a contract with SPACs, like which we've known in the previous few weeks to be, not even few weeks, few months, to be a part of several scams, like SPACs related to cars, SPACs related to rockets, everything like that. They're all some version of a pump and dump and like abusing technology, secular trends and stuff like that. At the end of the day, both of these just went all the way back to they went below their baseline because the breakout on LUNR was supposed to be around 50. It's a initial like major support was supposed to be 30. This went all the way to 20. And same thing with OCEA. The breakout was at 13. And you expected this to go back to like 8, where most people were, expecting like gap up short kind of stuff. Well, since this one went all the way back to, a lower level, that kind of gave me a little insight on lower illiquid floats. And, in the last conference, we were talking about rewards and how they're changing, especially for specific float ranges. And on the lower ranges like this, like micro float and around the micro float, their reward is a lot more when they like go down. I thought that it was something that only happens when you have like an offering or something like major like that. No, I think it has something to do with like the massive panic and no one wants to hold that anymore. And, since it's such a low float, there's always like a large hedge fund, pumper, high institutional ownership, all kinds of stuff like that. And then when they get out, that's 90% of the stock right there. It's all like a supply kind of problem more than the other ones. It's more of you have a little chance of psychology, like when the big person pulls out. But with OCEA, this had a 99% institutional ownership. And with LUNR, this one was just so pumped up that support didn't even matter because it's 400K float. So each level is paper thin. That's all I want to say about that. Now, this week, it's pretty much just wrapped up for the SPAC stocks. And there may be sympathy plays that look something like OCEA or LUNR. And we were looking for those. And that's where Lion came in, where this one happened in tandem with OCEA. But outside of that, we were waiting for something else to pop up. Because like this is related to biotech. This is related to aerospace and industrials and stuff like that. So we're just going to see how things play out. One of the things we do want to keep a watch on is AMAM. BAER, gap up short. Yeah, it is a gap up short. I see it already went up to 100. It's on SSR. And that downtrending didn't have any volume. Nor did the 3 weeks pretty much going sideways around 4. But it is a gap up short because it had to, go into that downtrending. And it's only been up, or it's a stock that's only been on for like a month or two. Like, we wouldn't call it a first green day yet, even though it is on its highest volume ever. I don't know what the news is because FinViz was, not working for it. But I could double check using news filter. Okay, I see something with beneficial ownership that we did see a few days ago. I kind of think it was actually LUNR. Yeah, but whenever there's beneficial ownership, you probably get some insight on what they're doing. No, it's probably the other one with the high institutional ownership. Dang it, I'm already suppressing it. But what am I doing? The OCEA. Yeah, but main thing is we know nothing. Oh, so it was LUNR. Okay. Yeah, but they made some type of amends and change in their beneficial ownership statements, and probably ratios and stuff. This one did look like the same filing though. The A4, this is the 4. This is the 3, and this is the S13D. Oh, 13Ds. We actually do like 13D. Remember Ryan Cohen in I was gonna say BB. Yeah, BBBY. Yeah, I wouldn't know how to read this, so I'm gonna wait till the more experienced people come in to like see this. I have a rough idea, but I'm not gonna do that on the stream and like potentially get it wrong. But yeah. This being 2 million float, a micro float up already 100%, and it says industrial sector, which connects to the SPAC LUNR. So this may be something that people are going to dump their money into as a not a sympathy play since it's already dead, but like it's something to carry on that trend. Now these warrants, they register this time, and they're also at the same exercise price as the OCEA. They also have convertibles at 11. Now these are all above where we're trading at right now by a good $3-4. Don't know what that means, other than they won't be able to use these anytime soon. But remember, where's the volume on this? 6 million volume. We still have room to get to those convertible prices. and warrant prices. It has a little bit of a connection. It's also an SSR. If people go in this on like as a gap up short and stuff like that, we don't know if this gap up short is going to end up like yesterday's gap up short, which I just pulled up one here. With OCA, this one caught me off guard, caught a lot of people off guard. It halted 9 times, so there's always some type of volume distribution that you can look out for. Oh wait, people are talking. Possibly another OCEA touched 8.85. Kind of gamble shorting BAER with warrants at 11.5. Yep. Better leave it and let it go even if it fades. 8.85 or 10.5. Okay. I see where you're going with that. With OCEA, this one, it halted like 9 times. Like there wasn't much you could do about that. When this was at 4, that's when the close was. When this went to 8, everyone's just like, it's up 100%. It has a resistance in the, let's just go to the year chart. Yeah, but everybody was looking at that 6 million resistance that starts at 9. This is all within the month, and we really like things within the month, like as close as possible. But it's as far as away, at least 3 days away. Well, this did have somewhat of a, there we go, somewhat of a resistance. It had to gap through this stuff, and when it did gap through, like overnight from 4 to 6, we thought it could be something. Not me, but like, yeah, we thought it could be something. So it was a legit gap up short, but a lot of people did not see this coming, which is, this going from 8, gapping up all the way to 26. Now there were several chances where you could have, chased this, and we did very early see that there was unregistered warrants at 11, and we don't know. Actually, we kind of know that crowd is still in the market right now, and they may be doing the same kind of logic for BAER. And when it came to the overall SPY, beginning of the day we're up, later day we're down. So there is no hard correlation on any of this stuff right now. At the end of the day, I chose not to touch anything because I thought I was going to have a bone implant inside of my teeth for like a gum kind of inflammation thing. At the end of the day, I held off on it just because honestly it was more expensive than I thought it was, and I was going to do them both at the same time until I saw the price, and I was like, I'll do them one at a time. I'll take my time, wait till I get my account back up to like 20K, then I'll go for it. But yeah, I had so many personal reasons to why I didn't want to touch anything, and if I did, like especially on the long ideas I had, I would have got chopped several times. I was so bullish yesterday. And I did want to buy this around, I think it was like 18. But again, why would you buy something so far away? And it actually would have worked out. Same thing with, it was something else. But at the end of the day, didn't touch it. And ended up taking $400 worth of borrows for LUNR and OCEA. Mostly because it didn't just directly look like my thesis. Because I almost bought it again at 15, and you see what happened there. They went to 10. So I didn't do anything. Totally conflicted. But the reason I brought up OCA and BAER is because these may be similar today. But I just went through what happened on OCA. The full break on this was at 13. Because that's where the top of that 6 million resistance was supposed to be. Right. Go back further. Yeah, 13. And you know how these multi-day breakouts and stuff work. Like you go in the daily chart, you see this is a micro float or whatever float it is, and then it's supposed to double from that point. Well, this went up to 26. But you also understand how halt psychology works. Like the SEC, the NASDAQ, like whatever the exchanges, they put in halts so they can investigate, so they can slow down the buyers or stall them until they think of, oh, something's about to happen. They're about to delist my ticker, halt it for weeks, and it causes a panic. Well, after 9 volatility halts, like 5 to 10 minute halts, they put in a 30-minute halt. After that 30-minute halt, which pretty much means that something's sketchy happening, or like things like that, this thing dropped all the way to 16. And at that point, usually when I see extension and then a massive drop like that, I think a bounce. But so many people were so scarred from all the halting, which is not actual trading activity. It's just, I don't know what else to call it, but it's not actual bag holders being trapped. It's just people losing their mind and then people chasing like out of FOMO. But the rate at which they're coming in to going out, it's not the type of trapping that you want, but it's also not a slow grind. It's more likely to go down the more halts you see. Like 3 to 5, you're already expecting a flip, but after like 9, that's just crazy. So this would just put the nail in the coffin with this big drop, and no one really trusted it enough to actually push it back to 20 where I wanted it to go, and it just faded the rest of the day. So as soon as my thesis broke, I didn't touch anything. But I think I explained why. Yeah. A lot of people loaded up like as early as 8, squeezed all the way up to here. That fully broke the day. It was a micro float. Squeezed even more, pulled all the way back. Total psychology is no one trusts this anymore. And then they just kept shorting it. Now, if we mirror this on BAR, we're already up 100%. So, and we also don't know the actual news for this other than like the beneficial ownership thing. Because is it gap up overnight? Let me read this first. OCEA was even the 10 million float one. See, that's what I thought too. And that's what I had, what do you call it? I had screenshot it for call that from ThinViz that day. But when you go to dilution tracker, which is supposed to be like the most accurate, they called it 2 million. And we saw that, yeah, see, it's 1.5 million. And we saw this like yesterday morning, which, you know, all these little things are going to do something to your judgment. Yeah, we were talking about like 11 million. We're ready to go off around like 11. I don't remember this being $8. Is this new? I guess what this was like 10. Yeah, but that, and they needed money. Like they obviously needed money. So we called the 20. But again, I'm the first to tell you, I didn't know what the hell was going to happen. And that was another reason why I'm like, I'm not going to touch it unless I have money to blow like that. But as soon as I started saying buy, and didn't have I don't know. I just couldn't decide. But it was all life influence though. No, but for today, BAER, I can't tell if we should do like a counter strategy because we do have those unregistered warrants. Or no, we do have registered warrants today for BAER. And it also has that 2 million float. And they're showing nothing on Yahoo and Finviz. So maybe it's too presumptuous to say that today is going to end up like OCEA. Because the reason that happened was because it was related to SPAC, like SPAC. But the correlation was much stronger than this stock. Because, yeah, this one does have SPAC warrants. It says it inside of it. But everyone's broke now, is what I'm getting at. Dodgy BAER. Yeah, if I did do it, it'll be a buy. But I have like no confidence to hold this. Like, well, the good side is it kind of goes into that first Green Day kind of look, just because, you know, there's nothing heavy in the recent resistance to hold it down. And even when we did have something heavy, it didn't help. Or like 6 million, it's not that heavy, but it was something on OCEA. But that's the only thing we have right now. Nearest thing would be CING, and that's a biotech. And that biotech is like $2. And it already went up 100%. Now it already pulled back like half of that before the market even opened. And that one had research news on, it was a breakthrough. Yeah, breakthrough in ADHD treatment. We all know who needs that. Looking at you. Okay, we're done. What am I doing? This one does not have a lot of volume. It's also really cheap. I don't know. I have all 3 trades today, so I have no excuse not to just use one of them. And then still kind of upset that I spent, what was that, 10% of my account yesterday just on borrow fees. So, yeah. But it beats a lot of the shorts that probably blew up yesterday. Like, I can't believe it. Like first you felt FOMO watching the green go all the way up on LUNR. Then you feel FOMO on it going all the way back down. And then while you're thinking about the short, get sneak attacked by OCEA. My nose is stuffing again. Allergy. Let's see. Hey, good morning. Playing with my emotions. Like, well, okay. Playing with my money is like playing with my emotions. I kind of want to type smoke. Yeah. Los Angeles, hail is falling with the rain. Was that last night? Did hear something hard. They said it was a blizzard on top of the mountain last night. I do remember watching the news. It makes it. Let's see what the borrows are for B8R. $0.26. So it's $8 stock. 26 cents is not bad. Not bad at all. But can we get that? We all need a stretch break. We don't want to end up taking the same form as the chair. All right, so I'm a borrow for BAER. And what I'd be aiming for would probably be a 20 to 30% push. And you're probably like, Dontez, why would you do that? No, this is all the danger. Shouldn't do that, man. And part of me is just like, maybe that's why I should do it. Oh, he calculated the dollar block using a daily volume. That makes more sense. Oh, sorry. I was answering another question. So if this hypothetically opened at 850, I'm trying to get that. People are broke right now. I'm trying to get that 20% push. It probably puts me at 10.2. And then we all saw Muhammad, who said 10.8. That was probably the 30% push. Huh? Something like that. My thing is, I'm trying not to fall into the toxic escape method that I want to do, which is I can't short if I'm long. And another part is like, man, I've already suffered enough borrow fees, so I kind of want to just long, but that seems like a very emotional kind of decision. Even if we do have the support of not having overhead resistance, this having a decent amount of volume, enough to run, which is about 8 million right now, and we still have 10 minutes before the market opens. And my thing is, if I decide later, hypothetically say this goes to 18 or actually I could see it going to like 16, probably 14, mostly 16. Yeah, by the time this gets to 16, borrows are going to be like 80 cents to like $1.20, depending on how mean TZ wants to be. Where I can get them cheap now. Yeah, I'd rather be aiming down than up on this. But SSR though. Okay. Since I have 3 trades, I probably might play tennis today. See what chat thinks. Thoughts on AM? I think it won't be anything until probably Monday. Like we had a consolidation yesterday from 650 to about like 580. At the end of the day, that one had about 200 million traded at the $6 area. And if you go back a few days, it had about 350 traded at the $5 area, $5, 480, somewhere around there. And you put those together, that only puts it at about 550 on the multi-day dollar block. We need at least like 1.5 million. So we're a long way away from having the momentum shift happen like right away. Well, if we do intraday, yesterday was at 200 million. So if we're looking at intraday dollar blocks and you try to complete the intraday dollar block from the previous day, which is around like 500, minimum like 450, you'd have to trade another 200 at the $6 level. So yeah, I don't see anything actually happening on that until like next week. Now you could say, oh, this stuff at the end, that was like liquidity coming into the chart, obvious like turnaround sign. And then that consolidation right there, we broke that. Now that can be like a potential place that we're going to, bounce off of, stuff like that. But there's supports, like layers. And for us to get past those layers, we're going to have buddies. We're going to have heaviness. We're going to have a lot of money stuck up there. And this isn't enough. Even if we are in like weaker overall condition. If it did just like slowly bleed through, I think the only thing that would get you that far is just going in with like risk management, risk in the close. But I wouldn't call it dollar block and stuff. Best person to ask would be, Steven with that. But that's just off of what I know about it. Yeah, it'd be a different story if this went up to 9 or 10, things like that, like almost double from where it broke out at like 450, that previous resistance that we were talking about before. But since it's only up at 7.4, we need other factors before this actually becomes heavy enough like that. I took a short at 6:30 and held overnight. Should I cover? Do you think this is the first red day? I'd play it by ear, but I think it's going to bounce around like 5. Yeah, but the thing is, its close is pretty high. And the chances of it going back up there like today, like just looking at the pre-market volume, it's going to be not that likely. It's mostly just going to trade sideways. It might touch like the middle of this consolidation at 6, like from 5 to 6. But to get all the way back to like 650 where the close is going to take some work. So this may be the first red day. Yeah, I can see that. But my thing is, I want that first red day to be really heavy. And yeah, ideally I want this to like gap all the way back and then consolidate after confirming that this $7 area is something that we don't want to touch. But yeah, it is looking very first red day-ish right now. So you should be good. I don't know what your borrow fees and stuff were though. Whether that's like 650 is a good place to swing right now. But I'd still play it by ear because it's an opportunity cost in that too. If you put too much on like a high borrow fee and you're expecting this to drop all the way to 3, something like that, it may take a lot longer than you think. Because with these dollar blocks, we're aiming for late day cracks. And so this morning, all the way up to about 1 o'clock, you can easily see this come back. So can't really give you a decisive, like, yeah, get out. That's also financial advice, so I don't recommend it. But yeah, just be careful. Oh, what am I doing? ADLX or short or first red. Oh, the lithium company. So yeah, both this one and OCEA had the opening bell ceremony. I am still confused on. I kind of have an idea of what it is, but what sector? Precious metal, basically. $0.01 borrow. Yeah, I don't know. I do see it's on massive green days though. And it has a lot of extension. I'll keep it on watch. But this, oh, I remember what it was. The first day, it's slow grind. And whenever there's a slow grind, I want a massive panic to trap people. So I don't think I'll look at this until it has that first red day. And then I'll try to get into a bounce. But outside of that, you'd be trying to predict what's going to happen. So, you know, this going up 25 almost. That's pretty epic. And then having that lower high at 23, that would make me confident to think this is going to keep going down. But I still wouldn't enter until it like pushed and confirmed even more of what happened in the pre-market. Because yeah, the intraday is much more important. Intraday is at 21. Overall, the volume on this is kind of something we don't want to play with too much because it's lower. But all right, so we're already at the 30% push, and the borrow price is still the same price. I'm still not regretting going long, because you know, if this is a repeat of OCA yesterday, we don't know what kind of tricks they're gonna play. Like, I'd rather just watch these, and if I do see some you know, similar stuff, people may be chasing towards like the first or second halt, thinking exactly what we're thinking now. Just, oh, let me just put in a little bit, and especially since it's all in the favor of the buyer. I can't tell what trick they would play though. All I know is I'd be really upset if they just halted this ticker for like weeks for whatever reason. And I'm not gonna be the one. Like, it's hard for me not to go to the extremes on this. Like, if I did go in, I want to put in like at least 5K. but the setup probably tells me I should go in like 2K. Or max, I can go in like 7K. So, and if I go in 5K, I'm holding it more of on the day and covering like 10% at a time. You know, just to practice my holding and practice my covering technique, stuff like that. And there's no way I would have went in the pre-market like right away. But still, we think this is going to 16, remember? Okay, now the borrow just went up to 51. Remember the borrow on OCEA went as high as 80, I think 80 cents. Yeah, went as high as 80 cents, stayed forever at 50 cents, and they teased 40 cents for it. It wasn't until this one went to 13 that they actually dropped it below 40 cents. So, what am I doing? Oh, this is all day. I think we should wait for first weakness to go into short. Yeah, of course. Yeah, but I've already gave my prediction. I think this is going to like minimum 14. I'm kind of calling the top here, but 16 is what do you call it? I think the craziness from yesterday, a lot of people were probably thinking, oh, it's going to go higher. If yesterday went to 26, today is going to go to 50, it's going to go to 100, things like that. I feel like it's actually going to do the opposite. It's going to go a little bit shorter, and people are going to like throw all their money at it. And then whoever the biggest person in this is, they're going to drop it a lot earlier. And that's going to be around like 16. And if these warrants are like right where this is right now, where it's halted, they'll definitely want it to be pushed up. Because you got the convertibles and the warrant. But they'll just be okay with taking 15. Because they know once we get back into the same areas or retrace yesterday's trend, things are going to get a little heavy, just because people are just trying to repeat history. So they got to throw you a curveball. If anything, once it tops at 16, maybe they'll put it right back after they like scare people. Like, I don't know. I'd rather just watch. I got to be entertained by this in some way. Now, on the back end of that top that it creates, that's where I want to trade, because the front end, I just want to know what we're working with. Like, what range are we going to stay in? It looks like a BAER is the only thing that we're working with today. Everything else doesn't look even close. At least this actually stays open for more than like 30 seconds.
Executed.
Just curious. Oh yeah, read up here. Type of squeeze can go a lot more than 20 to 30%. Yeah. When we think about a low float, especially micro float, we're thinking 70%. And this open, now that we have a fixed number, let's do 4.9. Oh, I went to the square root. 9. And I messed that up. I don't know why I looked at 4.9. I was looking at the wrong one, I think. No, that literally says 4.9. What? See, TZ be getting me. They did that yesterday too. Whatever platform has some type of bug. 9:30. 15.81. Okay, that's where my 16 was. Now we know what's gonna happen. Now, since this is a microfloat, I do expect when this does create a top, it's gonna go a lot lower than the normal reward that we would be thinking about. Which, since we're treating this like a gap up short, normally we'd say 25% to 35% off the top. Maybe this time we may get all the way to 50. So that's what I'm doing over here on the side. But yeah, I did one for 14 just to see how that goes for now. Then I'll slightly adjust that. Yeah, so 1050 is going to be my target when this goes to 16 as a top. And I have 400 shares right now. So 400 shares at 16 puts me at 6.4, which is, a comfortable place for me. I'd be risking, since it's, well, first let's just let the chart develop. But I'd be risking pretty much that 400. I don't know if I want to risk that much. I want to risk like 200. But main thing is, if I'm risking 200, it's 5% of the price. Means, hypothetically, if I go in at, let's say it goes to 16.2. No, let's just say 16. Round it up. I'd be risking 80 cents. Yeah. Well, yeah. What am I doing? Took AM. Right? We're almost already 30% of the max volume in our current market. I think this is on bail. I don't know. Popcorn for me and close my window now. Yeah, that's a good option. I feel like this is a turning point for me though, since I haven't been able to pull the trigger like all week. I feel like I have to do something. Now I'm not gonna let that feeling dictate the ultimate decision, but I at least have to leave a trade in this week so I can trade a little better next week, because I am still on a win, but the borrow fees pretty much just killed my last 2 wins. So I need to get some of those back. LUNR bouncing. That was another thing I was kind of worried about. How far is this gonna bounce? Because like that drop was dangerous. And what do you call it? this one be? That's 8. Yeah, so this is the second hole. Yeah, hold. Yeah, but when it comes to the bounce, we're expecting, well, I don't know. I feel like you should throw the rule book out on this one. But we expect a pretty hefty bounce on this. I kind of want to pull up a reference chart, like not INDO, but something like, might have to find a parabolic real quick. But we've definitely seen bounces like happen pretty aggressively after this, and then people play off that bounce. But my thing is, this LU and R, it started everything. So if this is bouncing, that's going to show more upward momentum in related stocks, which include BAER. Another part of me is like, if you did try to short that bounce on LUNR, I just want to see what the bars are like. It pretty much just started again from the bottom, but this entire like downtrending, that's kind of a resistance right now. So it kind of feels a lot safer than BAER for now. Like this may be a different story after 10:30, and this goes up to like 15, 16, stuff like that. But for now, LUNR, $4. Oh no, we cool. Oh, I was talking into the back of the mic. That's probably why. There we go. If I do it sideways, that shouldn't be a problem. But I'm gonna have to tighten this up at some point. Oh, I'll do that later. All right, guys, it is the weekend. I am going to go misbehave off camera. Hey, LUNR, it has it's back down to $1. That's cool. And borrow fees, what I'm talking about. Okay, it's open. Now it's at 9. Wow, it dropped earlier than I thought it would. How much reward is on this left? Wait, there's no way that they just halted again. It didn't even move that much. This stuff is sketchy. All right, yeah. Let me read this again. Don't think it goes highest. Probably 2-3 holds, then down. Just curious, won't warrants guy get arrested or investigated? LOL. It's all legal. Got into timber at 240. A lot of volume. Yeah, it's really hard to go in like that. I was thinking like 3 to 5 since we had like 8 yesterday. I knew it'd come down early, but come on, 12? Like, that's almost normal. I guess as soon as there was a sign of halts, people said, not today, not getting me. And they got out. Oh, gotta think about it. Why am I looking at this one? I can look it over here. Just change that. XPON going right into resistance. I found a use for this window now. I wouldn't really call that a resistance, but close was 393. Yeah, this isn't anything. First thing, you need you don't have any profit margin. Like, this has to go into any form of resistance, like with a lot of momentum. This spread over 2 days, even though there isn't any like major consolidation, it would still be hard to get a lot out of this. Like, that 350 kind of looks like the neutralized area now, which means that, like, even if it did go back up to 5, not only is there not a whole lot holding it down there at 5, like there's only 6 million, and then only about 2 million of that is what you'd be going with. I wouldn't trust. But that's just me. We've seen all kinds of stuff happen. This stuff that looks like it's supposed to be an easy short. All right, time to head out. OC, EA, X Beyond, yeah. Cool. Thanks. All right, guys, I'm gonna head out. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Use risk management. study hard, pet a cat every time you see it, and